Okay, so who is the true spirit customer? So we've really seen two major trends, as I was saying. The first trends that we see are these super busy moms, but these busy moms that love to shop. So Sarah is a typical customer that you would get on True Spirit. Sarah is someone that's new to the uniform space. She hasn't really had an opportunity to buy uniforms before, but she really wants to fit in. That's the big thing about this kind of customer segment, is they really want to fit in. They really want to make sure that they're buying the right thing, but they also love shopping. So it's this really strong balance between finding an efficient way of buying a uniform, but also being able to have a delightful shopping experience on the site. So we really tried to create kind of this really beautiful picture of who Sarah is. And then we also have a second customer here. And this customer is what we would call a John. And who John is John's a single dad. There actually happens to be a lot of dads shopping on the site, which was surprising, but from the user research what we saw was that there were a lot of dads that were taking the reins and buying for their kids. One of the things that's happening though is that they're trying to buy, they don't have a lot of time during the day. So they're buying at short intermittent intervals throughout the entire day. So we really wanted to take that into account as we build the overall user experience. So you can see here, that John, he needs efficiency and he really also wants his child's input. And that's really important as well, because that was something that I discovered from our initial interviews, was that that you guys also really wanted the children's input onto the website. And so that's something that we've definitely thought about and we've taken it into account in our design. So I just want to take you through the kind of pain points that the user or the customer will actually be feeling when they go to your site. So this is a typical site of a uniform company, which I'm sure you know of. It's called Mills Company. And Mills is your standard uniform site. It's super ugly, it's super clunky, there's really no way to navigate, to know where to go. I mean, you could go all over the place. You could go over here, you could go over girls, wearing girls, I'm trying to find where my school is, how do I return something? It's really clunky and horrible. This is kind of like how you'd actually find your school. Often when you type the school name, you can't actually figure out what the school name is. You don't know your school code, the zip codes aren't clear. It's a really horrible process, and from our user research, it was actually upwards of 2.5 hours of time that parents would spend on the site trying to find what their kids wanted, and it's horrible. Again, the other thing that we talked about a lot in our interviews with both your customers and also with you guys was that there was a return and exchange policy that's really important to your brand. Here you can see how Mills is doing their return policy. It's really clunky, it's really detailed, it's not clear. There's a handling and allowing time for 2 to 3 weeks, so it's really hard for the customer to plan. You have no idea what to do in this situation. And that seems to be a really huge pain point for your customers. So we wanted to address that as well. So this is kind of the good side of the competitor landscape, but I still think there's a lot of room for opportunity. So we did a competitive analysis, and what we saw was that Lands' End really seems to be the leader, the industry leader. They have a beautiful brand identity, they have a wonderful amount of visuals on their site. They also engage very strongly with social media. And I think going forward, that's something that we can explore further. Another thing that was really interesting was their zine. So what I mean by zine is they actually had a way for you to flip through their content